This specifically is a Suzuki DRZ400sm 2016. And yeah, the main things you need to know are what your hands are doing and what your feet are doing, because that is how you control the motorcycle. So I'll also give you the car analogy equivalent.
Sure.
So your clutch in a car, if you're familiar with stick shift, is your brab. Then your throttle is here. This is your gas pedal. And you have two brakes. So you have front brakes, which is for your front. And your rear brake is actually a foot pedal rear brake. And that's for your rear wheel. So if you squeeze this one really hard, you do endos, and if you squeeze this one really hard, you'll skid out. That's how you skid out, like on a bike. Then more specifically for your hands, on your left hand you have your horn and your turn signals, and that's just push and you have to deactivate it, or push and you have to deactivate it.
Okay.
So don't be that guy that leaves his turn signal on. And then also your low beams and high beams. And a lot of people think your high beams are regular because it's two lights. But on a motorcycle, low beams is one light, and your high beam is both lights together, high and low.
Essentially the brights versus regular?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Correct. It's literally high and low beam.
Okay.
And then on your right hand, you actually have your throttle disengaged, so you can't enable the engine when it is off, and that's how you can also kill the power when you come to a stop. And then to start your motorcycle, you have to have it in the up position.
Do you press this every time to turn off the motor?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can also turn off the motor, actually, when you're in gear and put the kickstand down.
Really?
The kickstand can only be down in neutral while the motorcycle's in neutral. But if you have it in neutral and the kickstand is down, you can press this button to start. But you are going to need the keys, which there is a main key for here, and actually there's a helmet lock for right here, where you can lock your helmet on.
How does
you put one of the rings in there, and the theory is that you have to have the rings on there to be structurally sound, and if you rip the ring off, then it makes the helmet illegitimate.
Okay.
But there's also a second key, which if you turn the handlebars all the way over there and hold the helmet maybe, you can see this guy, and if you're in a sketchy place or just want to lock your motorcycle a little better, you can actually lock the fork that way. I'm not going to do it right now.
Yeah.
But safety equipment, you got to wear a helmet. You should wear like closed-toed steel boots, motorcycle shoes specifically, wearing tennis shoes, that's kind of a no-no. You're also supposed to have a leather jacket or whatever, and pants too to go with it, but we're just in the parking lot learning. Helmet, gloves, and these got the hard knuckles too, and actually if you were to get in a fight, those are considered weapons, so yeah, don't get in a fight with those things.
These are already considered weapons.
Yeah, now here's an important thing, is your shift knob. That's like your stick shift in your car. And the sequence here is if you go down all the way, that's first gear. Half a click up is neutral. A full click is second gear. Then you have up for third, up for fourth, up for fifth. And this is a 5-speed. So, and when the motorcycle is on and you have the key ignition, you can see a neutral light. So it's actually a really good indicator to have a neutral light.
Ah.
Yeah. So you're familiar with how to put on a helmet, you should go for it. Now, there's also one last thing, and especially helps when you haven't started your bike in a while. There is a choke so that you can start your RPMs a little higher to like rev it to get it warm faster. And then there's also a fuel valve. You can go roughly, for me in sea level with 91 octane, I can go roughly 70 to 75 miles before my tank is empty, and there's no light on this bike, so it's kind of deceptive. I've run out of gas before, but you can come flip the switch and you got another like 10 to 15 miles or so to find a gas station. You do have a little bit of a reserve tank. I believe the tank is like a gallon and a half.
Does that get filled up from the main gas tank?
It's all right here. Yeah, the reserve and the main gas tank is all right here. But I can go about 75 miles before this thing's. So yeah, you always get on a bike from this side. You always grab it here and come onto it the easy way and kind of lean. And then once you're here, you can square up the handlebars and get it on your feet. And this is where you can kind of get the feel of how heavy the bike is. And if you wanted to do it without the kickstand, you can like kind of get an idea. And then you always put the kickstand down, turn the handlebars, and dismount on that side. Yeah, get a feel for how heavy it is. Because the one thing you're not doing today is putting this bike down. That's my biggest fear with coming out here. But it's super easy. You just have to realize that it is going to move forward at some point. You're going to have to be familiar of the swing weight. Because just like riding your bike, it's a little less effective at slow speeds. You know how like your turns, you have to turn the handlebars more and lean with it? Same applies here. So faster speeds, you don't have to worry it as much. Your leaning comes more naturally. But at slow speeds, this thing gets really tippy. And because it's heavy, you have to be ready to like support the entire weight of the bike on either foot. Know what I'm saying? Cool. Yeah. So, and I use the clutch really liberally. So even when I'm like drifting, I'll pull in the clutch, and instead of letting out the clutch and then finding the gas, I'll like find the gas and let the clutch out really smooth. So even when I'm re-accelerating or already at speed, anytime I use that, it makes for a really smooth. But yeah,
it's like the same concept with driving a car. You let out the clutch, then hit the gas. It's like it always is going to give that little jerk.
So yeah, don't be afraid to use the clutch really liberally. But yeah, that looked fun. Do it again.